Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the tutorial for Spera In Deo. I hope I said that right. Now, notice I didn't say guitar tutorial or ukulele tutorial. So, Lincoln Brewster on this song actually plays a 6-string ukulele. And I don't have one of those, and you might not have one of those either, but this is just the tutorial. So, I'm going to teach you how to play it on the guitar, and if you have a capo and a guitar, you can play this song live. So you don't have to go out and buy a 6-string ukulele for one song if you're doing it as a special somewhere for your church. If you have a ukulele, 6-string ukulele, great. But this video is to show you how to play it on the same fretting, same everything on a ukulele or a 6-string guitar, 6-string ukulele or 6-string guitar. So I did a little bit of research on the 6-string ukulele and the tuning differences between that and a regular 6-string acoustic guitar. So the real difference is how you can, match the same tuning and everything. It's literally the same intervals as a guitar. But instead, if you're playing it on an acoustic guitar, that's where the capo would be, that's where the nut would be on the 6-string ukulele, 5th fret. So that tuning would be A, D, G, C, E, and A. Or put a capo on the 5th fret of the guitar, and you're there. So another quirk that I notice about this song, I think what he's doing is actually he's taking those notes and tuning them down a half step. He likes to do that a lot, and some of his other songs, he actually likes to tune down his guitar to a half step. If you listen to Miraculum, that's tuned down a half step. So I think he kind of did the same thing with the guitar ukulele, to just get a little bit more, just a little bit different sound, but also the playability is a little bit different when you tune down as far as your vibrato and things like that and bending notes. So for this song specifically, to get that sound on the guitar, we're going to capo on the 4th fret. So how I figure that out is just some of the harmonics that he's doing doesn't work if you're capoed on the 5th fret unless you're tuned down. I hope it's not confusing. But some of the harmonics and some of the notes, I can just tell that those are open strings just because of the tone quality of them versus actually fretting it with your finger. So we're going to land on the 4th fret. So I created some song-specific presets that I'm going to use for this song for the Podgo HX Stomp, Line 6 Helix, and the HX Effects. And so with these patches, what I did was I actually added an EQ on there because I'm using a steel string guitar, not nylon string. His guitar ukulele uses nylon strings. So if you have a nylon string guitar that's electric that you can plug into your board or whatever, it's going to get that great sound. So without further ado, let's jump right into this tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep these fret numbers down to referencing the capo. So pretend the capo is the nut of the guitar of the ukulele. So just pretend like everything below the capo doesn't exist. So on the guitar, it's really important for this song specifically to know your E major scale. As far as the note shapes and everything, really know what notes you can play on the guitar that is in the E major scale. So these first couple of licks happen within the pentatonic scale. If you don't know what the pentatonic scale is, look it up, but this is basically what we're talking about here. So those first couple notes are this. Okay, so this is what it looks like. 7th fret D string is your C sharp minor note. This is in reference to the capo. G string to the 7th fret G string. And he kind of tiptoes back and forth. Kind of bleeds them together. So then he repeats that phrase again. Then he slides down a couple frets to the 4th fret G string. And then he does this hammer-on pull-off thing. You can either do hammer-on pull-off or slides. This is what the hammer-on pull-off looks like. So then it's 4th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret. Or you could do slides on that. And then he goes back up to the 5th and 7th fret. And then that's the 8th fret B string. Then he does that run again. So that goes like this. D string, G string, G string, B string, B string, E string, 7th fret. Down to the 5th fret. Then he does some like kind of pinch harmonics. Works a little bit better with the nylon string guitar, but it still works. This goes back to the pentatonic scale. Goes back to that little lick again. And then now it's a hammer-on pull-off to the open string. G string. So I'm going to take that whole beginning part and go a little bit slower. And now you can milk each individual part however long you want. That's what's really cool about this song not really being in time. You can really take advantage of the moment and really space that out. So that next part that goes after, then he kind of fades back in again. So this part's really specific. This is all on the G string, 4th, 5, and 7. Back down to that. Then you're going to end up on the 5th fret G string. Then you're going to hit the harmonics. So the first harmonic is on the G string, 5th fret. So I just hover my finger. If you don't know how to do harmonics, I hover my finger right over the fret on the 5th fret. And then that second note is the 5th fret D string. So it's going to sound like this. And then your next one is way up here. So it'd be the 12th fret, in this case with the capo, on the G string. And I use my ring finger to get way up there. So it sounds like this again. Then your last note is the 7th fret D string. So then you're onto this middle section with the delay part. So I'm going to kick on my delay that I have on this preset that I made. And it's like this. So I'm going to teach you the part that doesn't have the delay on it first. And so I'll teach you the rhythm of it. It's literally what it sounds like without delay. So if you can keep that same rhythm throughout that part, your delay is going to kick back and it's going to repeat the notes, and that's what creates the really cool feel. I'm not going to put the delay on, but I'm going to kind of teach you the ideas of the notes. So now here's where it kind of gets a little bit more abstract. Not so much note for note. There are some ideas in this delay part that is definitely note for note, but the bridges between that are not. So this is where it's really important to know what notes can I play in the E major scale that's going to fit, that I can hang around until I bounce to the next idea. So that first part, the delay creeps in on the C sharp. And then there's this little walk up here. So then it's open G string, 2nd fret G string, 4th fret G string, 5th fret G string, 3rd fret B string, and then 5th fret B string. So it's the beginning is going to sound like this. So then you kind of bounce back and forth between those parts. So it's, and then back down. So then I use my middle finger on the 4th fret G string. Trust me, it's going to sound way cooler once we add delay to it. Then we're back. Then you kind of bounce on that C sharp again. And then he kind of hints at that same idea again. And then he jumps up to, you can either play it on the 3rd fret E string or the 8th fret B string. And then he goes back down. So I'm going to play that slow. And then he hints at it a 3rd time, but then he stays up in that middle position. So then what's really important, now we're on to that next idea. So figure out a way to get from this low C sharp up to this position on the 7th fret G string. You want to get to that position here, because this is where it gets important. So you want to end up on that note on the G string. Then you want to hop up to the E string, 7th fret. So you're going to bounce back and forth between that note on the G string, 7th fret, and the upper strings. And then there's a really important descending line. You're going to go 7th fret E string down to the 8th fret B string, 7th fret G string to the 5th fret B string, back up to the, it's kind of like this weird like circular like wheel thing in my head. It kind of like loops around and then finally descends to the 8th fret. And then you kind of repeat that loop again. And then you're going to go back down to the 7th fret G string. So I'm going to play up to that point. And then once you get to this note, you go back up again to the 7th fret G string. So you kind of do this back and forth here. Then you go to the E string, high E string, 7th fret. Right there. And then you play that idea again. So I'm going to play what it sounds like with delay, and hopefully this will give you an idea. So once you get back up to this part, then he kind of holds off on that 7th fret. Kind of jump back and forth between the 7th fret and 8th fret high E string. And then he uses the delay and does this. All on the E string. And then he goes to 8, 10, 12. Whenever you feel like it. Now there's this really important descending line. 8, 10, 12. 8, 10. 7, 8. All on the E string. 5, 7. B string now. 8 to the 5 on the E string. 6 on the B string. Back to the 8 B string, 5 B string, 5 B string, 6 B string, 7 G string, 5 B string, 5 G string, 7 G string, and then down to the 4 G string. So I'm going to play that a little bit slower. So you're going to end on that G string. That's the end of that little run there. So now you're going to do this cool little. So it's 4, 5, 8 B string. And then what you're going to do is you're going to actually slow down that part. This is where, now it's, like I said, it's more abstract, so this is where it comes important to know your E major scale so you can play whatever notes. You just need to descend down. You can play it just like that if you want. So I'm gonna vibe around in that delay part and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so now we're back into the non-delay portion, and it's like the third act. And there's some really cool fast licks in here. So this is the Despacito part. No, that's Despacito. So this is just a C minor chord here. This is you're barring your G, your 5th fret. G, B, and E string. And then you're adding your ring finger on the 7th fret D string. And then you're picking that really fast. So now you're doing your ring finger, 7th fret E string, pinky, 8th fret E string, 5th fret, keep your hand barred there. hit those notes twice each. To the 7th fret E string. It's kind of another descending line there. Bar those 2 notes on the 5th fret. Then he does that walk up again. Here's where it kind of gets more abstract. Play that part again. So that time I did a hammer-on pull-off. I think he might actually do that there. And then he goes this part here. So this is the D string, 5th and 7th. And then he slides up on the A string, 5 to 7. Now here's the really fast lick. And I actually do hybrid picking on this to get the speed up. So then you do low A string with your pick. So I'm going to show you what that lick sounds like. You probably know what I'm talking about if you listen to the song. That lick. A string, G string on the 4th fret, 2nd fret D string. Now pinky on the 5th fret B string. Watch my right hand on this one because I'm using my other fingers here. 2nd fret G string. Make sure this is a slide so you can play it fast when you finally get up to speed. 5th fret down to the 4th fret G string. Middle finger B string, 3rd fret. Make sure you get that open G string after you hit this note. Okay, that's all in that position there. Let that open G string ring out. Now you're up here to the B string, 8th fret. Now to the G string, 7th fret. Bar your B string and E string on the 5th fret. So I'm going to play what it's like up to speed to that point. 7th fret E string to the 8th fret pinky E string. Okay, so then you slide up the 12th fret. So he does this part 3 times. So that's just between the 12th, 10, and 8, back and forth. Now he does the fast picking, all on the E string. Then it goes up to the 13th. So it goes up to the 13th, 12, 10, 12, 10, 8, So he does this hammer-on pull-off thing here. This is all on the E string. So I'm going to play it relatively slow, starting from that fast part here. And then now here's a fast part. I'll play it up to speed. And it really helps to know the E major scale because it's just going down. Okay, so it's a hammer-on pull-off at the beginning. This is all 7th, 8, or 5, 7, and 8. B string, 8, 6, 5, back to the 8, 6, 5, G string, 7, back to the 6th fret, B string, 6, 5, 7, G string, 5, G string, 4, G string. And then he kind of walks it back up. That part's kind of abstract, but the walk down is right on. Then he does another fast walk up. So this is just like, it's the same pattern going up the strings. Starting on the 7th fret A string, to the D string, 5th fret, pinky on the 7th fret G string. So now just take that and do it on every string until you get to the top. So you do that like twice or 3 times. Now start that pattern on the D string. Only your pinky is on the 8th fret and not the 7th. And then that starting on the 7th fret G string. And then 5th fret B string and E string. That looks familiar. 5th fret E string. Go from the 8th to the 10th on the B string. Now you're up here. So that's a little tricky there. So it's 8, 10, B string, 12, E string, back to pick the 8th fret on the B string, and then land on the 10th fret E string. And then he does that idea again. And then he goes into like a little back and forth kind of deal. Same idea, just faster. 13th fret E string. All alternating with that note, that pedal tone on 8th fret B string. Bar that B string, E string, 8th fret. And then he does like a hammer on the B string to the 10 to the 12. And then creates this little tension here. Make sure your first finger is on the 8th fret E string now. So I'm going to play that slower, starting from the beginning. Okay, so it kind of walks down. Down to the 5th fret B string. And then there's this kind of, that same idea. So it's 5 to 8. 7th fret G string. 7th fret G string. Okay. 5th fret D string, 7th fret D string. Now here's the fast run. This just starts on the A note, and if you know the major scale, like I said before, this should be pretty easy for you, and all you have to do is practice the speed of it. So this is on groupings of 3. So I'll just play the scale for you. This is what it is. 3rd fret D string, 5th fret D string, 7th fret D string, 4 G string, 4, 5, 7 B string, 5, 6, 8. So I'm going to play it slow. So now you finish out that scaled back down to the C sharp minor. So where you started was here. Now you're going to continue it down. So pinky on the A string, 7th fret, 5, 2, or 3, 2. So then you walk that back up to the 7th fret, down, and he kind of does a hammer on slide there. All slides actually. Down to the 5th fret. I'm using my pinky this whole time. Up to the 10th fret A string, and then landing on the 7th fret A string. So I'm going to play that whole part, hopefully up to speed, so I can get it for you guys. So it's actually, it's not like all one speed. It's like starts off slow-ish and then speeds up and then slows it back down again. So I'll show you hopefully what I'm talking about. It's about as clean as I can get it. So then it goes back to that idea again, this pattern. The top part is actually different, so I'll go through that. So this is where it's different. You start at the 7th fret E string. And then you're walking it up. To the 10th fret E string. Bar your 8th fret, B string, E string. So I have to jump up way up here. So this is your 15th fret. And I have to basically flatten my hand to get up there because I don't have a cutaway here. I'm play it slower. 12th fret E string down to the 10th fret E string because it kind of does some fast picking here. And then this lick is really kind of signature to what he does. This. So So that it starts on the 10th fret, E string. And it's a pull off down to the 7th fret. Middle finger on the 8th fret, B string. First finger on the 7th fret, G string. It's just a triad there. Slide it down to the 5th, pinky on the 8th B string. And it's a slide down to the 4th fret, G string. And then it's the 5th fret, D string, 5th fret, A string, 3rd fret, A string, down to the 2nd fret, A string. Well, thank you so much for watching this video and watching the whole thing. I hope this video helped you learn something, especially this song, but I hope that you learned something that you can take into your own playing and other songs. So if you really like this video, please subscribe and please like it and click the bell, and we'll see you in the next one.